All right. We have Esther Chambers' speech, Tsunamis of Your Soul. Tsunamis of Your Soul by Esther Chambers.
March 11th, 2011. Where were you? Now, if that date doesn't immediately bring anything to mind, see if this will help. No, I'm not acting like a referee in a sports game. I'm talking about the famous, horrific tsunami and earthquake that hit Japan on March the 11th, 2011. This date is seared in my mind. I recall sitting and watching the television as it was just unimaginable what it would have been like to have been shaking and shaking for all the times that they were shaking, and then experiencing a gigantic wave that came in and washed away entire towns. Nearly 10,000 people lost their lives. Toastmasters, honored guests, and contest chair, have you ever experienced in your life? Have you ever experienced a 9.0 on the Richter scale lifequake that was like a gigantic tsunami that raised up, swallowed you up, and by the time it was finished, the life that you had yesterday no longer is there today or tomorrow. Your life is gone. I had an experience like this when I was a child. At first, it seemed like it was going to be a fabulous day. I was with my parents, and it was back in the 60s, and we were one of the first African Americans to visit and be allowed to stay at a hotel. We were going to go swimming because there was a swimming pool. And I remember skipping along, saying, I'm going to the swimming pool. I'm going to the swimming pool. When all of a sudden, something was shaking the door. We tried to ignore it because we were like, what's going on? It kept going until my father pulled open the door. And in big letters was written in black all across the doors, the letters K, K, K. I said, Mommy, what's the KKK? We had a housekeeper with us, and she was in the back, and she was shaking, and she was crying. My father went out, and he happened to have one of the first type of video cameras. They were huge, and he was going around photographing everyone, telling them, you better not hurt my family. This was my first tsunami of the soul that rose up and threatened to cover me and drown me in what racism can do to a little girl. Now, my mother came to us and she said, children, come here. And she began to talk to us about the Ku Klux Klan and try to help us know that we were going to be safe and we were going to get out of there. We were going to survive that. But there are many people in this earth, in the world, who have not survived a visit of the KKK. Their life was wiped out. But what my mother really wanted us to know, that even though that experience threatened our souls, threatened me to feel as if I'd never be safe again, that I wasn't worthy, and blocked me from going to the swimming pool, She told me that there is something extremely important to remember. Your presence on the planet is your significance. I'll say it again. Your presence on this planet is your significance. You see, my mother had had a similar experience when she wanted to become a lawyer back in the 50s, when it was not allowed because my mother lived in Virginia. And they had said that no Black person was going to go to school in Virginia, to law school. Now, they had a small caveat, and that caveat was they'd rather send her to Yale to go to law school than to send her to law school in Virginia. My mother was terrified. Could she do it? Could she leave and fulfill her dreams in another state? But when she found she had the opportunity to go to Yale, she realized her presence on the planet was her significance. No one can take that from you. So if a tsunami rises up in your life, there are all kinds of tsunamis. There are tsunamis of death. There are tsunamis of job loss. There are tsunamis of divorce. Have you ever experienced a 9.0 on the Richter scale life quake that wiped your life away? Have you ever felt that it left you feeling unworthy or that you could never rise up again? Realize that our dreams, when they fall apart, they can be put back together to create mosaics of magnificence. So pick up your broken dreams and create a magnificent mosaic. Live your destiny, create a legacy, and always remember your presence on your planet, on this planet, is your significance, and will help you rise and thrive when your life has been wiped away by a life quake. Back to you, contest.